And we should be live in a second here. Wait a second for it to pop up. Sorry about the weird timing. Originally the stream was supposed to start at 2. It's kind of like the time I like starting the stream. But I had a late night. I was working on some stuff, and I had some stuff to do this morning, so I decided to postpone it until 3. And then right now I was sitting in my room and was like, man, I totally could have started at 2. So we're starting at 2:30, although it says 3. So we are just going to be pretty much hanging out today. I've been having a lot of... Hey, what's up, Anthony? I've been having a ton of people coming into the stream over the past... yeah, what's up, C? I've been having a ton of people coming into the stream over the past couple weeks asking a bunch of questions and stuff. And I figured I would do a stream where I just kind of hang out, and anyone that wants to come in and talk whatever really, or have any 3D printing questions and stuff like that, I can go ahead and answer them. And also maybe talk about some of the stuff that I am going to be doing on the channel and working on personally. I've got quite a few little 3D projects and stuff like that lined up. I had a bunch of different things on my mind, and I finally put together a game plan of what exactly is going on, and yeah, kind of a lot of little exciting things. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. Just kind of hang out and chit chat for a little while here. So how's everybody doing today? Finally got a little bit of sunlight here in California. It's been rainy on and off for the past week or two here, so it's nice to have some sun. Let me see. Let me post one thing real quick here, guys. Right now I'm just printing. It's a little like spinner fidget toy thing. I'm gonna probably print. There's a couple more things I want to print for the Monoprice Mini. I saw somebody designed a really cool. Okay, so on the Monoprice Mini, when you're printing the layer, or when you're doing your slicer settings, I don't know who exactly discovered it, but there's like magic numbers for the layer height. So normally when you're doing like layer height, you do like 0.1 resolution, 0.2 resolution, you know, 0.3, 0.4, etc. But somebody discovered that for the Monoprice Mini there are certain numbers that are like magic ones, and they're really weird numbers. You wouldn't really remember them off the top of your head. Like, let me go Monoprice Mini. I'll show you guys actually. Let me share my screen with you guys. Move this up above my big head. There we go. So yeah, if you go to monoprice-mini.com, which is like a wiki, which is a really nice wiki that I don't know who exactly is running it or put it together, but it's amazing. It's got a lot of really good kind of guides and tips and stuff like that. But if you go to optimal layer heights, there are these magic numbers, and so basically these are the various layer heights that supposedly give the optimal print quality. It says, well, basically you can see the science behind it all. It says, you know, the motor Z-axis is a 7.5 degree 48 step motor, as I just listed, since the motor is attached to an M4 rod, which has 0.7 millimeter thread pitch. Then in one revolution, the Z-axis travels up or down 0.7, since it took 48 steps to turn the rev. Each step is, so you got this long decimal. So they basically use this formula to come up with these layer heights that are the best to use. Typically I use 0.30625, which is the largest one that they recommend using. Most of the stuff I'm doing isn't super fine resolution, so this is typically what I use, but somebody over on Thingiverse created... Hey Voodoo, you actually made it on time, dude. What's going on, man? Somebody on Thingiverse created, let me see, Mono Price Mini. There's definitely a printer in the background. Won't be able to stay for the stream. Good luck with whatever you're doing. I'm really interested in this Mono Price printer. I hope you do that LED mod you mentioned. Oh, you do want the LED mod? I might end up doing it then. I didn't really realize anyone was too hyped for it. If I do it, I'll definitely show it off on my channel or something like that. Yeah, Voodoo is like typically always late. Let me see. Oh, I didn't even see that it was Mario. It's funny, the blue font on the live stream is really hard to see unless I'm looking at the chat directly. What's going on, Mario? Yeah, I'm just putting a little spinner thing. But yeah, I was talking about, oh, Mario, you might want to see this too. So for this printer, these are like the optimal layer heights to slice at, based off of this formula right here. And so I typically print at 0.30625. Yeah, but if you go on to Thingiverse, there should be, I've seen it before, somebody created like a little printout that actually shows you the layer heights, and it kind of attaches on the side of the printer. And I'm thinking about printing it out just so that way I don't have to keep Googling every time I'm slicing. I can just kind of look at it directly. It's kind of cool though when you go to the Mono Price Mini on Thingiverse. There's my little knob that I created in the last stream. And it's kind of cool to see that actually people are using it. I wish someone would create a make of it so I can see them actually, you know, using it. But it's got, you know, 38 downloads, so hopefully somebody printed it out. But let me see if I can see Mono Price Select Mini layer. Let me see if that'll do it. Man, I'm not seeing it now. Mono Price. I've definitely seen it before though. I know I saw it on the Facebook page. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I kind of want to just get it printing right now. Yeah, I'll definitely go ahead and DM you it after the stream. No problem at all. Strange, I swore before it popped up like right at the beginning. The tough thing is with this printer is that they're not all under the same name. Like some people call it the MPSM. Some people, like there's just various, what is this? Spool holder. Oh, there it is. Well, here's at least one. I don't know if this one's the one that sticks on the side. This might just be a little, does the plaque stick on the side? Or he just, oh, he went ahead and just stuck the damn thing on the front. That's kind of cool. I wonder if I saw one that I liked a little bit better though. That was it actually like attached the screws on the side, but that's not really bad. I mean, it doesn't need to be crazy. I wonder how well you'll be able to see it though, without using dual colors. I mean, I guess I could always print it in like a white and then use like a Sharpie or a marker to brush over the numbers, which will make them basically, you know, dual colors or multi-colors and stuff like that. Let me hop back over here. Do you still keep up with game consoles? Any thoughts on the NES Mini Classic or OG NES HDMI mod? PS, what up? What's going on, Ryan? I don't keep up too much with consoles. I kind of follow games and stuff like that, though. I mean, I'm always looking for a new game to play. I know that Neo just dropped. Yeah, me and Mr. Mario actually briefly talked about the NES Mini or Classic, and that apparently they're figuring out more and more ways to fit more games on it, and I think they've got up to, I think Mario said like 600 games or something like that. I don't know if you can confirm, Mario, but I think it's pretty cool. I wouldn't pay the amount that, you know, they were going for over the holiday season, especially when you can, you know, Raspberry Pi and install RetroPie and get all the emulators, and it's pretty much the same thing. It's like a, obviously it's a, it is a official release NES Mini, which is kind of cool versus doing some homebrew, but I mean the output's the same, but it's definitely cool. And the OG NES HDMI mod I haven't actually heard of. I'll have to look into that. I'm 3D printing a holder for my Mayflash to put in my PC. What is that? I'm 3D printing a holder for my Mayflash. Mayflash Limited. What is it? Adapter. Is it a emulation device or something like that? I'm not really sure what that is. We're on 800 plus games now on the NES Mini. Soon it'll be the whole library. Wow, that's crazy. It's come a long way from its initial 60 or 90 or whatever it was. That's pretty cool. I definitely think that like ups the coolness of it, that you can, you know, put the whole NES library on it. That kind of makes it, you know, neater. It's crazy that they've been able to do that. I guess since you guys are all here, I can briefly talk about some of the projects that I'm going to be working on. So I talked about this in my last live stream, but my DaVinci 1.0 is dead again. For those of you that have been following my channel for an extended time, you'll know that the DaVinci 1.0 was my first 3D printer that I picked up a little over 2 years ago. And probably like 4 or 5 months in, I ran into a ton of problems with it. And I went ahead and basically, let me put the back on me. Yeah, so I went ahead and basically completely swapped out the hardware from the DaVinci board, whatever board it really was, and I put a ramps and Arduino combo setup in there, and it printed really good with an upgraded Pico hot end for like maybe like 8 months to a year. And the Pico hot end was giving me some problems, and I was trying to swap out the little heating element that actually heats up the hot end, and I couldn't find a replacement for it. And a standard got a big bag of parts. Just to show you guys. Oh, like this standard one, I couldn't get it to fit inside of the Pico hot end. And also the DaVinci was just giving me some other problems. So I was gonna like completely just say I'm done with the DaVinci printer and just, I don't know, either sell for parts, trash it, or take out what I can. But yeah, I've got a DaVinci that my first, I mean, it's a very modified DaVinci, but I do maybe I can show you guys. We'll turn on this guy. Hold on, let me plug in webcam number 2 so I can show you guys some things here. I don't know if it'll actually boot. I might not boot up. Maybe? Nope. Yeah, I might not be able to show you guys this. Deactivate, activate. Nah, it doesn't let me switch out. Oh, wait. Heyo. Okay, cool. That does work. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this guy right here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Sorry for a second. You guys are gonna be moved. See if I can do this. Be helpful if I had a little USB extension cable. Excuse the mess. But yeah, so there we've got the DaVinci printer right there. Make a taco. But yeah, we got the printer right there, and so I decided that I'm going to attempt one more time to rebuild it. Hopefully I don't have to rebuild too much of it. I think that in the process of moving it, I may have damaged the ramps and Arduino board. I'm not positive. But I ordered on Amazon I'll show you guys. There's too much stuff going on here. Okay, so if I go to Amazon, I go under, what did I look up? It was, I think I just searched JHead V6, and I found one for like, I think this is the one I bought. Yeah, this is the exact one I bought right here. So it's basically a clone of the E3D hot end. and it'll fit right into the slot where I had the Pico Hot in. So I'm basically going to attempt to install this one, and I'll install it with the new thermistor as well as the heating element, and hopefully I'll be able to get that back up and running relatively easily, just because I've done so much to it. I don't know, it's all like set up kind of in a sense, you know, like the bed still works fine, the heater on the bed still works fine, all the steppers work fine, the rails work fine, end stops are still working fine, so it's like at least set up. So like I probably shouldn't completely scrap it. So yeah, I'm gonna attempt to rebuild that. I don't think I'm gonna really document the process too much on video. I'll probably just show it afterwards when it's back and alive and all cleaned up, hopefully. Just because I've already done so much that it would be kind of confusing, I think, for most people just to see me like halfway fix this thing when it's already been modified so heavily. Like, it won't make sense for anyone that has it stock. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think it'll make a lot of sense. Let me see, 1 second. Comments. Do you have a dual extrusion printer? This guy, hold on. This guy right here is a dual extruder printer, but I stripped parts from it. I took one of the extruder, direct drive extruder assemblies on top off, and I stole a belt from it, so it's not functional right now. I'm not sure if I'm gonna rebuild it or just scrap it for parts. That was a dual extruder printer. I'm not too crazy about dual extruder printers. I feel like they're kind of more pain than they're worth. I don't really know. Maybe if you got something like, one second, guys. The Ultimaker, which is like $3,000 to $5,000. They might have gotten their dual extrusion figured out. But for the sake of, I don't really see the use in it. Like, I get that it's cool, and I do think it's neat for certain applications being able to have like two-tone, but 99.9% of the things that I 3D print, I'm completely content with them being in one color. I don't need them to be in more colors. Like, that's not their purpose. I'm not really creating things. Like, most of the stuff I make are like mechanical or tools. And if they're little doodads, I mean, you could always paint them. So to me, it's not a big deal. The only, again, exception would be, like, I know Ultimaker has their new, like, filament, which basically is a, so you have two filaments. Like, you'll print with PLA, which is standard, and you'll print with their, like, water dissolvable filament. And so you can use that to basically print all of your supports, and then after the fact, when you remove some with your hands, you can just throw it in water and it'll dissolve all the supports, which from what I've seen online, it didn't look like it really worked that good. I watched a video on it yesterday where it looked like it was amazing, so I'm not really sure. I've never had an Ultimaker. It's way out of my budget, and also I don't think I'd want to bring those kind of printers to my channel, at least not now, because my primary focus is hobby level 3D printing, and that's just not hobby level. Nobody needs to spend $5,000 you know, on a 3D printer for a hobby level. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, I'm not really big on dual extrusion. Henry, what do you think of the cheap XYZ printers? They're pretty low cost on Amazon. They just give me a cheap crap kind of vibe. I made a video ranting about XYZ printer bad. I don't know if like that'll make me come up. No. XYZ printer rant. No. Do not buy XYZ printer. Huh. Let's see it. Oh. Oh, excuse me, guys. There we go. So this is my video from 2 years ago. I'm not gonna watch it right now. It's got mixed, I mean, I guess more support than negative. But there are some people that love XYZ printers, and in my comments they'll tell me that the reason mine's not working is because I don't know what I'm doing and stuff like that, which is not the case. Plus, this video is, again, 2015, which my knowledge of 3D printing has skyrocketed since. Yeah, I'm not a fan of XYZ printers at all, especially not out of the box. If you want to modify them, then sure, I guess, maybe. But I still wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. So you said how much did you say they were? You said you saw them for... Oops, I should not have probably left the live stream page. You said... Oh, low cost. You didn't give me an actual cost. Yeah, so if you were to build, or if you want a 3D printer, one I could really recommend is this one. This is basically my flagship machine right now. This guy. So it's a kit printer. It's $289. It's a really phenomenal printer. Again, however, it's a kit printer. So you see this thing all set up right here. It's actually, I can show you guys. It is, we're going up right there. It's right there, and it's a phenomenal printer. However, it is not for the faint-hearted, because you have to build it. I mean, you get basically a bag of screws and parts wrapped up and printed parts, and you've got to assemble it one by one. It took me somewhere between 6 to 8 hours. No, it took me longer. I think it took me 12 hours actually. It was my first kit ever built, and I did it on stream, and there was missing parts and stuff like that. So if you're going to do a kit printer that you want, like something that's just really solid right out of the build, this is a phenomenal printer for 300 bucks. Also, if you want something that's pre-built, then as Mario's mentioned, the Monoprice Mini is a phenomenal 3D printer, which is right here on my desk. Somebody said that you can't find it in Europe, really. I think there's a China version which it's built off of. Let me see if I can figure out what the hell it's called. Ah, there we go. So this is actually what the machine is. It's a Malian M200. I think Monoprice may have done some upgrades to it. But you might be able to find this one in Europe. I think that Hobby King actually ships to Europe. But yeah, essentially this is literally this is it right here, man. Again, I think Monoprice may have done some things to theirs. I don't think they just rebranded it. I believe actually internally they did some stuff. But yeah, I mean, all the stuff is going to be cross compatible. So this is an option, you know, essentially. Not RGB, HDMI, but yeah, NES HDMI is a crazy install and about $120. Wow. Huh. Is it worth it at $120? I feel like if you can play emulators in HDMI, I don't know if I'd want to do it. Yeah, I'd say, like Mr. Mario said, the Monoprice is probably the best budget pre-assembled printer out there by far. For $200, nothing really. I can't think of anything that touches it. Yeah, right. $2,500. Mario. Oh, okay. All right, Mario. Sounds good, man. Thanks for hanging out for even just a little bit. It's always nice to see you. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. I'll try to remember to send you the link to those optimal layer heights so that you've got that in case you need it, or you know, have it later on. I love to make, so that's not a problem. I'll look into it. Thanks for the help. Yeah, no worries, man. Of course. It's a really solid 3D printer, man. Like I wish I had a little you know, mileage thing so I could see how many hours I printed on it, but it's redonkulous. Like the amount of hours that I have put on that 3D printer is insane. So yeah, but basically the things I've got going on is, so we'll go back down to this guy. So yeah, rebuilding this guy. I'm going to make a video on, sorry about the light right there. Let me see if I can move it. I guess that'll work. It's like low frame. So this guy right here is the RP9V2 from Bob CNC. I fully converted this thing. Let me make this actually a little bit bigger for a sec here, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, and also move the hairspray. But yeah, nothing about this is really stock. I've added lead screws. The left and right side are both. I 3D modeled them based off the original and added a little bit of changes. So they're plastic PLA now instead of the wood. It was a Bowden setup, and it's now a direct drive extruder setup with a E3D Lite 6. I don't know if I said it or not, but I added a hot plates, and up the power supply so that way it can have a hot bed. I added belts because it wasn't using belts. It's got LEDs. It's got a little. It's not plugged in right now, but it's got on and off power switch and LED switch, which it didn't have before. And it's got a fan on the back. So yeah, I've done quite a lot of stuff to it. But I'm actually going to be destroying it. I'm going to make a YouTube video showing off all the final stuff I did to it, just because it was a pretty in-depth project that I spent a lot of time on. Hopefully you guys can hear me alright. It was a pretty in-depth project that I spent a lot of time on. Let me turn this a little. I know that my gain's not that far up. So I'm definitely going to make a video on it, even though I'm not actually keeping it. But I'm going to be completely tearing it down. I'm going to throw out all the wood. I'm going to keep all the other stuff, though, like the steppers, you know, the extruder, the bed, all that stuff. The main issue that I have with this 3D printer is that because of the fact that it's wood and because of its, like, shape, it's not very expandable. Like, this 3D printer is much easier to work with because it uses the 2020 aluminum frame, so it's much more open than the wood. And it's just easier to expand upon. This machine uses like a Prusa i2/i3-ish style. Well, this one's more like of a custom design. I believe it uses certain characteristics of a what's the style? I can't think of the style riprap I'm thinking of right now. But basically, the smooth rails or smooth rods are horizontal instead of vertical, and so everything has to be designed myself instead of being able to recycle things on Thingiverse, which is kind of annoying because it takes so much time. But yeah, it's just, and also okay, so also because I made it a direct drive extruder instead of the Bowden setup, I lost some of the print area. I lost about an inch, which frustrates me because the amount of time and essentially cost that was added onto it just from, like, you know, the lead screws for $10-15. This is genuine, so that was like a $40 hot end. And having it where it only prints like the same as a Monoprice Mini makes me not want to keep it. So yeah, I'm tearing it down, and I'm actually going. I just bought a 3D printer last night. Let me see. So, I can't believe I actually did, but I got an A8. After my last video talking about Chinese 3D printers and the amount of response I got back from you guys and the rest of the community, I knew I needed to have one for myself. So, I'm probably going to be making a stupid amount of videos on this thing, so you're probably going to be maybe either interested or annoyed. I really don't know yet how people are going to take it, but I plan on documenting the whole build process. I'm not going to live stream it like I normally do because I actually want to do an in-depth voiceover complete build of the Anet A8. I think that it's got such a big following that it will be very useful for a lot of people that maybe are getting frustrated by picking this up as their first machine. So I'm hoping I can help out a lot of people by making probably, like I said, again, the build process, I'm probably going to make it like an 18-20 part video playlist, essentially just showing how to assemble it all. I'm going to originally assemble it stock, like exactly how it looks right here. And then as soon as I'm done with that video series, then I'm going to modify it and basically completely change it up to where I add the E3D hot end, add all the frame braces, add auto bed leveling. I'm going to completely scrap the electronics board on here and use a Ramps Arduino combo and add Marlin firmware. It's going to be pretty fucking crazy, so all that will be documented. Also, I have a website I've been working on that I haven't really announced really at all, called 3D Print Love. I've been like slowly just showing it here and there, and the whole thing is going to be documented on this website too, to kind of keep everything really organized. So it'll be on here. Also, again, all the videos will be on a YouTube playlist. But yeah, I'm really excited. It should be here in the next couple days. So hopefully I'll be starting on that very soon here. So yeah, I've got a lot going on. Do you have any other hobbies besides 3D printing? Yeah, well, I mean, I love video games. Huge fan of video games. Mostly I play Counter-Strike. I also love retro games. I can actually show you guys. Oh, this is the wrong one. It's under my bed, actually, but I've got a freaking... I'll see if I can show you briefly. There's a beer beside the bed. This is pretty much full of like 96 and 64 titles. So I thoroughly enjoy collecting retro games. That's a definite hobby of mine, as well as video game modding and stuff like that, and now 3D modeling. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of just electronics and working on electronic projects. I'm very fascinated with like designing and just tinkering and making things. I didn't know I liked it until, well, I guess it's been like 4 or 5 years now, but it wasn't until after high school I found out that I really enjoyed building and designing stuff. So yeah, I love to make... Oh, you said how's the Xbox 360 power supply working out? Currently building an i3 and using that as my power supply. I want to know, does it work well enough to be trustworthy? I have the 203 watt. It's fantastic. I've been using the Xbox 360 power supply since I built it, I think, or right around the time I built it. At least since I made a video. Hold on. Oops. Let me see. It's going to be under Prusa i3 mods and upgrades. I use my videos kind of as like timestamps. Here we go. Okay, so 9 months ago. So we're going on like 10 months, give or take, and it has been completely hiccupless. It's working great. I'm not sure what the wattage is of mine though. Let me double check that for you. I'm pretty sure it's 203. Where's the fucking extrusion? Hold on. I can't check. It's completely locked in right now. I'd have to remove the screws, but I believe 203 is what I'm using as well. But yeah, you won't have any problem with it. The Xbox 360 power supply is a really solid power supply, and it's I believe got some like fail-safe stuff inside of it too, so you shouldn't have to worry about any kind of like shorting anything. But yeah, it's been fantastic. It's I'd highly recommend it if you know, if that's something you're gonna be using. So it's great. Rip. Make sure you heat shrink the main cables to the power supply. The wiring is scary. Oh, you're talking about on the NET A8? I'm sure that's what you're talking about. I've heard that. Well, the thing is, the NET A8 uses like your standard 3D printer power supply that a lot of 3D printers use. I've heard that the power supply is actually not bad at all. I heard that most of the issues come from the wiring to the main board. A lot of people are recommending not using the plugs, and if you have the knowledge and you can solder, which I could easily do, to basically just remove the plugs and solder directly to the main or to the board. That way you don't have any issues with loose contacts or things crossing. But again, I'm only going to be using it just for the sake of building it for people that want to build it, you know, like to want to build the NET A8 and see how it's supposed to be built, and then I'm going to modify it. I'm literally going to cut all the plugs and wire it to a Ramps Arduino board. I bought not that long ago. I picked up a couple extra ramps boards because when I was building the RP9V2 and I upgraded it to the heat bed, I blew out one of the MOSFETs, and originally I was going to just swap out the MOSFET that was blown with a higher quality one, but the shipping was going to take forever, and Amazon had these ramps boards, so I just literally picked up 2 with next day shipping. So yeah, I've got a bunch of ramps boards, and I'm going to either steal, I'll probably just steal the Arduino board from the RP9V2. That's just what's going to make the most sense. Because originally, when I knew I was going to tear down the RP9V2 for a while, and originally I wanted to build a Core XY machine, and I had my eyes on a couple things. I had my eyes on, I'll show you guys, the Lion. It's pretty cool. Hyper. So I follow this guy on YouTube called Tech2C. He's really awesome. You should probably follow him too. But he has been working on this 3D printer for a while. He just released it September 4th, so it's a fairly new build, and it's a Core XY machine. It looks very, very, very nice, and it's cool because, I mean, people are making it and showing off their builds almost every single day. You know, I mean, over the past at least 1 or 2 a week, if not even more. But they're beautiful machines, and a lot of people are recycling their i3 parts into this, which I was like, oh, perfect. You know, I can recycle a lot of the stuff and save cost. The only issue is when you go to the bill of materials, this guy's located in Australia, and I was looking through a lot of the stuff, like all the eBay links are for it's Australia, so you click on it, it's, you know, ebay.com.au for Australia, so you have to find them on the US eBay, or for me, again, I'm in the USA, so you have to find them on the USA eBay. And also a lot of these other items that he has listed on like Banggood, I mean, these ones are fine, but some of them say they're out of stock now, so you have to source the parts yourself, and a lot of the parts you're gonna have to order them from China, so it's like a 3-week to a 1-month waiting period, and if you want to order them from the States, you're paying a premium, which sucks. So I kind of was like a little bit turned off, just because it was going to be a very like extended project, and I kind of you know, have a couple of things that I want to do more now than later. This is definitely something I still would love to do, but just for right now I decided that it'd be perfect to just go with the you know, the NET A8s, and I can use the parts again from the RP9V2 that I'm going to be destroying to upgrade this. So I can take the again, the electronics board, I can take the extruder, what else can I recycle? I don't think this has a glass bed, I think it has aluminum, so I can take the glass bed and throw it on top of that. So there's just things I'll be able to use, and it'll be a much easier and more cost-efficient transition. Plus, again, there's a lot of people right now that are very interested in the NET A8, so I figured it'd be a perfect time to hopefully help some people out that are, you know, having questions with it and all that. Can you use a 360 power supply on a PC? Probably, if you wired it correctly. I feel like that'd be a lot of wiring, though. Probably more trouble than it's worth, just since, I mean, you've got the main, you know, 22 or 24 pin motherboard plug, you've got the CPU plug, you've got all the other shit too. If you want a disk drive, your hard drive. I mean, you probably could but it would have to be a very, very low spec build, just because most graphics cards take, you know, they require a pretty substantial amount of minimum wattage. Hey, what's going on, Modshop? Oh man, you missed all the talk about the things I got coming up here in the next little in the next little while here. Oops, screwing up here. Yeah, I got a lot going on, dude. I'm gonna be probably rebuilding the DaVinci Not on video though. I'm just gonna probably show the finalized project. I'm destroying the RP9V2. I'm gonna make a video showing it off. But I purchased another 3D printer last night, the Anet A8. So I'm gonna be doing like a 20 video series where I show probably like just 4 or 5 minutes at a time the whole build process. Maybe longer than that, since it's probably gonna be a pretty substantial build. But I'm gonna build it stock and make a step-by-step video on how to assemble it as much as I can, and then I'm gonna modify the shit out of it by taking parts from the RP9V2. Like I'm going to convert it from the little China board that they're using to a Ramps Arduino setup. Dogs are going crazy. I'm gonna add the E3D Light 6 hot into it, so I'm gonna be doing that. And then a bunch of just other stuff like frame braces, LEDs, auto leveling, just a bunch of different shit. And then I feel like there's one more project I said I'm gonna be doing. Maybe something with the monoprice? I can't really think about it right now. The Anet A8 is gonna be the big one though. Oh, no. I don't use it on a PC. My PC's got, I think, like a 800 watt Corsair. So, no, definitely not. It's be pretty underpowered PC. I mean, you could probably, again, use it for like a Linux machine, but my main issue is the wattage, so it really depends. Yeah. Let me see if wired properly. But yes, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to do a live stream today. If anyone wanted to stop by that had questions, which we had a couple, which was nice, but it's just so funny. Like, I get a lot more people that come in asking questions on days that I'm like trying to work on a project than on a day when I have dedicated just to live stream questions. But I guess that's just the way it is. But yeah, I'm going to be doing the Anet A8 way different than I've done other kits. Because other kits, I literally just kind of live stream. It's like a 6 to 8 hour process of me just kind of casually building it, which is really nice and fun. I enjoy it. But for this one, I definitely don't want to. I want to make it where the live stream isn't just fun. I want to make it where, like, so I'm not going to do a live stream. I want to make it where the videos are actually useful, since there's such a community of people that are buying these 3D printers, and I know a lot of them are buying them as their first time 3D printer, regardless of whether, I mean, a lot of people are saying not to do that, but they're still doing it just because I'm sure the price tag is so cheap. I mean, it's very enticing. Literally, I picked it up for, how much did I pay? $165.95 with shipping, and it's literally located 30 minutes from my house. So I wish I can go pick it up, but they don't have it. So hopefully it'll be here in the next couple of days, and then I can get started on it. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are picking it up, and I know they're having a lot of issues, I'm sure. Well, I mean, I know they are because I've seen it in the Reddit, and I've seen it all over the place. But yeah, I'm hoping that we can get it, show it some love, and make it better for people that want to upgrade theirs, and as well as kind of safer. I definitely think that using the Ramps Arduino board is a lot safer than using the China board that they're using, just because I've heard of issues with their plugs and whatnot. And I'm probably going to be, I'll probably add a add-on like MOSFET, because not that it's necessary. I was just saying that you can desolder and resolder, but I think that a lot of people that are building the Anet A8 might not be able to solder super well, so it's kind of just like a, you strip the wire down and you screw it in, just like on the Ramps board. So I'll probably do one of those just to hopefully save 1 or 2 people their boards shorting out, or black smoke or magic smoke or whatever. Yeah, what else do I got going on? I want to 3D model a little attachment for the Monoprice Mini. I gotta see if one exists, because if one exists I might just recycle the file, but I want to create a 3D model otherwise of just a really simple mount that'll basically mount on top and kind of hang down the side, and it'll hold a Raspberry Pi board, so that way I can hook it up with Octoprint. Currently building an original Prusa i3 MK2 using the upgrade kit from Prusa, Bed Pro, V2D V6, and motors, and sourcing other parts. Any input or tips? Okay, so you're building it from the ground up, just by like 3D printing your own parts and stuff like that. Bed Pro, V2D V6, and motors. What tips would I have? Have you built a kit before? I mean, at least you're sourcing your own parts, so you'll know that you'll have the parts, because that's one issue with kits. I've had, on 2 kits, things were missing. Nothing too crazy, like, one of them was just M3 nylon locking nuts, which were relatively easy to source myself. And the other one was missing some kind of a connector, but I was able to get that too. Well, for the sake of it all, I mean, I don't know what your knowledge is in terms of small electronics or building things, but just take your time, do your research, make sure you look through the build log like 3 or 4 times even before starting. That way you have like kind of a clear heads up of what's going on. These are kind of more just like building things in general than your printer, but they're so crucial. Also, if you get tired, stop working on it instantly, because you'll screw something up. I put on something backwards on a 3D printer because I was tired when I was trying to build it, like 4 or 5 hours in, take a break. Triple check wiring for sure. I'm sure you're hooking it up to what? Are you doing a Ramstar Arduino, or are you doing like a smoothie board, or what are you using for the electronics? Just take your time. Cable management is crucial. That way, like, I typically don't do any cable management until I see the machine's working right for a minute or two. When I say a minute or two, I mean like a little while. But definitely do cable management pretty quick, because there's nothing worse than having it working correctly and then having a cable get pinched or ripped out or something. That happened to me with my thermistor on my DaVinci when I added my own. The thermistor, I didn't tuck the cable in nice enough, or put it off to the side, and so it got caught after like the 4th or 5th print in the Z-rod, and it tore that shit right out, which, you know, easily fixable, but annoying. It took me a second to realize why it wasn't working, or why the, you know, bed wasn't showing a temperature. Random question, but where do you get boba in Canada? I heard you mention it in last stream. I'm actually not in Canada, man. I'm in California, so I don't know where you get it in Canada. I've actually never been. But here, where I live, you can get boba lots of places. My first girlfriend worked at a boba place, which is 20 minutes from my house, 15 minutes. There's also, if you go towards like Fullerton, there's a very Asian community out there, and literally there's boba on every shopping center. So there's boba. There's a lot of boba out here in California. It's a kind of melting pot. I went to buy the Monoprice Mini the other day around 3 a.m. They were out of stock. It was going to be impulse buy. It's probably best they were out of stock. I almost bought another one too, dude. They were actually out of stock for like 2 or 3 days. They just got back in stock last night. Let me double check. Monoprice Mini. Oops. I don't have to search Monoprice Mini. I'm stupid when I'm on Monoprice website. Yeah, it's back in stock. It said it wasn't going to be back in stock for like another week, but sure as shit, there it is. I almost bought another one last night. I was on the verge before I ended up picking up the A8. I was kind of on my compulsive buying thing too, so yeah, they had a pretty good sale like a week ago. I don't know. Excuse me, sorry guys. I know a lot of the sales that they have aren't compatible with their 3D printers, which kind of sucks. But I'm thinking that maybe one of the sales I saw was, which is why they sold out. But one thing I will say, guys, is so I picked up picked up 3 spools of filament from Monoprice, and they're very nice. Hold on. So the spools are like really heavy duty, like even more so. It's kind of hard to see, I know, but look at that, they even got screws in them. But they're really nice, and the plastic, I've printed probably 5 or 6 prints so far, and it's really, really good. But yeah, they have sales and discount codes all the time, and although a lot of them aren't compatible with, although a lot of them aren't compatible with the 3D printers, the filament a lot of times is compatible. And a lot of you know I've been using Hatchbox on Amazon for a very long time, and I've been very happy with it. However, if you go and type in right now, PLA Black Hatchbox on Amazon, which is where I always buy it, it's now $27.99, and it's not even in stock for another 8 days. And just last week, it was up to like $35. So I think they jacked the price up because they sold so much of it or something like that. Granted, it's very good PLA. However, I feel like I haven't really used bad PLA in a very long time. I bought a spool about a year and a half ago, and it was shit. The PLA was terrible. It was very brittle. But I think that a lot of companies have really upped their game in terms of their filaments. So yeah, but basically what I'm getting at is I picked up 3 spools of filament, black 1 kilogram, off of Monoprice, and I got them completely delivered for $45, 3 1 kilogram spools. So that's $15 a piece. And I get that because I live 30 minutes away, things are a little different for me. Like, I get free shipping, and I think they actually do offer free shipping for everyone over, I could be wrong. I thought they offer free shipping over like $50. I don't quote me on that, but I get 1 day free shipping with Monoprice since they're literally so close, or I can pick it up same day if I want to. But at $15 a spool, yeah, I'm definitely going to be sticking with them for a while. It's insane. So the Prusa MK2 is made out of an aluminum frame, threaded bars, and 3D printed parts. Sourced everything. Oh, cool. Aluminum frame sounds good. Threaded bar sounds good. I've heard so much about the Rambo board. I don't know jack about it. Isn't it just like a Ramps clone essentially? Or is there? Oh wait, no. It looks. Holy shit! It's expensive. So I'm completely wrong. Okay, so it's both the Ramps and the Arduino and stepper drivers all on one PCB. Ah, okay. So still very pricey though. Major features: 5 integrated microstep motor drivers. So what is it? It's got better MOSFETs, 4 thermistor input, digital trim pot, SMS support, TOS's printing on power supply voltages, 3 independent fuse. Okay, so you've got fuses, which is kind of a nice bonus. High quality connectors, did I say hacker friendly? That seems really expensive. Is that how much you're paying for it? Is there clones that are cheaper? Because isn't it the smoothie board? Like, I've been interested in the smoothie board for quite a while. Again, just the price is kind of a turn off. When the Ramps is just so damn cheap. Can you not buy it from here? They don't sell it directly. Damn, that's expensive too. Shit. Hey, what's up, Night Printing? I don't know about Canada from G's. Alright then. Yeah, not Canadian, man. I feel like, I mean, I'm not really too familiar with Canadian accents, but I feel like this is, I don't have a Canadian accent at all. DaVinci 1.0A still flashable? I could not tell you. You'd have to check forums. It's been about a year and a half since I've looked at anything related to flashing the DaVinci. Since I completely swapped out the board. One sec. Since I completely swapped out the board. Oh man, that's bright. I don't have to worry about flashing since I'm not even using their board anymore. I'm not running XYZ's crap. I'm running Marlin, so I'm gonna say probably because I still see people going to my video saying thank you. So unless they're buying older printers, I'm gonna assume that they still work. But yeah, definitely triple check it. I don't want you to break your printer. That would be shitty. Found a supplier for refurbished Rambo, 1.3 for $85, and it's what it. Oh, is it really? Okay, so you're trying to make it as close to the Prusa as possible. Well, for $85, that's not a bad deal, especially if I mean that's half the cost, so you're saving money, and also if there's a warranty on them, because it is kind of nice. Like, I mean, the Ramstar Arduino combo I think roughly costs $25 or $30, so you are still paying over double, but you get the stepper drivers, even though that's usually included. Still seems like a lot more money, but I mean, by all means, if you want to make it as authentic as possible, then go for it. $85 is really not a huge deal. Oops, dropped my mouse. $85 is really not a huge deal when you think about. I dropped my mouse again, failing. How much it would cost to actually buy it outright. I mean, I think that the Mark III. I know you're building a Mark II, but I think the Mark III kit is what, like 7 or 8. Prusa i3 MK2. Oops, why did I type 2? Yeah, $700 looks like. So I don't know, man. That seems really expensive to me for a Prusa stock kit. I get that he's the original, and I get that his stuff is amazing, and I get that it's got like technology within it that is phenomenal, and you get the support and all that stuff. But it just seems super overpriced for the electronics. Maybe I'm wrong though. I mean, I don't really know how much their hotbed costs, which it is a really nice hotbed. I've seen it's got some form, I don't know off the top of my head, but a technology that basically makes it where it heats more evenly and rapidly, which is definitely nice. You've also got a genuine E3D, which are not cheap. Aluminum frame still seems expensive to me, but again, I'm not gonna bag on it because Prusa is an awesome dude, and Joseph has made a lot of innovations, and because of him, you can even get clones. So, you know, if you want to keep it original, then you know, by all means. I like the smoothie. I just don't like the idea of not being able to easily replace the stepper drivers if one fails. Yeah, it's definitely a turnoff. I did see though with like the smoothie board, I think that can you print faster? There was something really positive. It's been a long time since I've even looked into it, but I remember seeing something about being able to use certain types of stepper motors with it that are faster and quieter. I don't know, man. Ramstar Arduino is just so cheap and it works for me. I have burnt out quite a few ramps boards. The MOSFETs are really shitty, and the fuses get extremely hot, so I always recommend adding a cooling fan to them. But as long as you do that, they're really solid. I mean, they work, you know. And for me, I'm always trying to be as cost effective as possible. Yeah, that's really nice too, man. If you can follow the wiring guide, you know, and not have to either trial and error or research it yourself. It is really easy to wire up the ramps board though, and there is a ton of picture diagrams and stuff like that. But you know, it's your printer, dude. So if that's what you want to do, then by all means, don't let me convince you otherwise, man. Again, compared to what a 3D printer could cost you, you know, spending $86, if that's going to give you your, you know, peace of mind and your simplicity, then just do it. The Xbox power supply is powering my hotbed. However, I will say that I've never taken my hotbed above 40 to 45. I only use it, I only print PLA. I print ABS a little, but I print both PLA and ABS. Okay, I'm lying to you. I print PLA at 40 degrees Celsius. I know you don't need it for PLA. I highly recommend using a hotbed for PLA if you have the option. Takes a little bit longer to heat up, but nothing ever slides. The PLA sticks like glue, and the second the temperature drops, it makes that cracking sound, and it's basically, you know, popping off of the build plate. It is magical. For ABS, when I do print ABS on the machine, I print it at 60 because it's not able to get above like 65. Granted, I know 60 is low for ABS, and I'm only printing, I print really small gears on the machine. So I think that's why it's okay, because the heat it's so close to the actual heat source, while I think that if you were doing it higher up or a bigger print, it'd probably curl. So yeah, that is something to consider. It just depends, man. But yeah, if you're printing PLA, or I think even PETG, you should be good. Yeah, ModShop says if you're using a 203 brick, you should be fine, which I think is what I use. I know that if you add a man, I'm getting choked up. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I heard if you had something like this, which is a MOSFET, it's a completely separate board. I've heard that this can help your machine heat up a lot quicker, and it's safer to use. I'll probably end up getting one of these, like I said, with the Anet A8, just to show people as a safety precaution. If they want to use this, they can. You can get them a lot cheaper in China. I think like less than half the cost. I'm pretty sure if I go to like no, it's just giving me actual MOSFETs. Well, it'd basically be, let me see. Weird as shit. I know it's on here. I'm not searching the right thing. I saw it literally yesterday. Actually, I know how to find it if it's under here. The hell is it? Inductive, genuine, 5-piece, bed leveling, DC power line, thermistor, switching power supply, heat bed, cooling fan. I don't know where the hell it is right now. In case I have extra gauge belts, bearing, coupler, lead screw, lubricating, smooth rod. Yeah, I give up at this point. I know I saw it though in the last like 24 hours, so if you do your research, you can find them a lot cheaper. Alright, I'm off. It's pretty late here, and I have exams in the morning. Have fun with the rest of the stream. Ah, jeez. Yeah, go to sleep. Thanks for hanging out. See, and good luck on your exams, man. Hopefully you, hopefully you got enough studying in, man. Mod shop, you're heading out too. Okay, sounds good, man. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. I don't know how much longer I'll be streaming too. It depends on if someone else hops in pretty soon here, but if anyone's got any questions for me at all regarding 3D printing or anything like that, feel free to let me know in the chat. I'm just kind of doing a free open stream right now because normally I'm working on some kind of a project, and there's always people coming in and asking a bunch of questions, so I figured I'd do one dedicated to just questions, and it's been less questions than normal, which is a little ironic, but yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out. So I've been talking about upcoming 3D printer projects I've got in the works here. I've got my Anet A8 on its way, so hopefully that'll be here. I've got my mom's birthday tomorrow night. We're celebrating, although it's the next day, and then this weekend I've got family in town. Man, this fucker's stuck. So hopefully I'll start working on it pretty soon. How's the G-Tech Delta doing? Well, it's it's decommissioned essentially. Watch. Oh, that's video games and junk. It is right here. Looking very dirty. I had it running for a little bit, and I wasn't really using it. And I didn't really care for the dual extruder. I went on a rant about that a little bit ago. But yeah, I basically stole one of the direct drive extruders, as well as a belt from here. So it's missing parts right now. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to steal parts from it or whether I'm going to set it up as a single extruder. I wouldn't mind having it as a single extruder machine, especially since it is really built. All I have to do is put that one more belt on it. I stole the power supply too, so I'd have to add a power supply. But it's pretty much ready to rock and roll still. Yeah, I haven't really had much use for it other than the initial build. It just, I don't know. But yeah, that's really all that's going on with it. But I have a couple of 3D printers tonight. I just sold one of them that I had that I never even made a video on. It was kind of defective from the get-go. But yeah, so we've got this bad boy right here. Then we've got this one right here, DaVinci 1.0A, which is running ramps, also out of commission right now. I'll be rebuilding it very soon. We've got this guy up here, which is the RP9V2. I'm going to be completely stripping it down and using it for parts. That's the one on the right. Then we got the one on the left, which is the Folgertech 2020, which is basically my workhorse. I have it printing nearly nonstop. It was printing right now, but the print shifted. This print I screwed up. I usually print with 40 degrees Celsius on the bed to give it a little extra adhesion, and I didn't put that on my slicer, so I got to restart that one up. And then I've also got, this is currently the newest, you can't really see it, it's right there on my desk, but the Monoprice Mini, that is my newest one as of right this second. I've done some mods to it. It's basically rocking an E3D style hot end. I added this additional fan for the layer cooling, which is phenomenal. What else have we done? I added some, you can't see them, but they're inside here. They're stabilizers for the Z rods. Definitely was definitely like a plus or a bonus. It made the machine quieter as well as a little more stable. And then I have got the I'm gonna turn off this camera. I've got the Anet A8 coming. This guy, I just ordered this, which I will be building and then taking parts from that wood printer I just said I'm stripping down to upgrade it. So I'm going to convert the board to a ramps board as well as upgrade the hot end and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of stuff. If I had more room, I'd probably have more printers, but I can only you know, really keep us so many, since this is all I've got is this room, you know. Mine is in the same state. I want to replace the hot end. Any mods for the hot end? I honestly haven't looked into modding this printer very much at all. I'm sure, knowing that it's a G-Tech, there's got to be a shitload of mods. I bet you if I just G-Tech G2S, we got an enclosure, we got a belt holder, which I think that's the one I'm using actually. Yeah, that is what I'm using. It's fantastic. I highly recommend this if you are looking for a belt holder. You got a whole thing called upgrades, power supply. Oh, there we go. G2S double E3D mount. What I'll probably end up doing is I ordered 2 extruders from China. They're just J-heads. They're freaking cheap. They'll probably be here in the next 2 weeks. When they come in, I'll probably remove the hot end that's still on it and put one of those E3D style J-head V6s on there, and use it as a single extruder machine. Let me see if they have, let's look up G-Tech G2S It's hot end. There you go. It's 30. There it is, right there. It's got a proximity. I might end up using this right here then. I've got that inductive sensor waiting, or proximity, I believe it is, and that's what's coming. So this is probably what I'm going to be rocking. I'm actually going to collect things to make save. Thank you for that. Yeah, I picked up. Let me see. I picked these up a while ago. What the hell is my bag of parts? And I have not used them. I have two of them. I'm going to use one for the Anet A8s, and then I guess one for this machine since it's got the aluminum build plate. But yeah, a little auto leveling thing. I got so many spare parts in here, like tons of NEMA 17 motors, spare nozzles, replacement MOSFETs for the ramps board, a couple 40mm fans, got a whole thing of these are just thermistors. Here's those MOSFETs I was talking about for the ramps board, belts. This is just a bag. I've got a whole other like compartment and stuff. Super useful to have, especially with 3D printers. It's nice to have just the ability to swap. I mean, I've got extra freaking boards and really everything you can need. Do you prefer i3 or Delta design? Well, I've had limited experience with Delta. This G2S has been primarily it. Deltas are cool in the sense that, well, they're cool because of the way they work. They're really neat. I like that the bed doesn't move at all and you have the 3 arms that come down, and supposedly they can print faster because they use a Bowden setup, and since the bed's not moving also. But they are definitely more work to initially get going. There's a lot more calibration stuff involved. Typically they take up less room since they're usually taller versus wider. Well, I can't say they take up less room. They just take up more top-down room versus left horizontal room, left and right room. I've had a lot of experience with Prusa style machines, and I love them. They work very well. Yeah, they work really well. So I would have to say definitely Prusa style, i3 or i2. But that's not to say Deltas aren't really good. It's just, I don't know, they're just less standard, if you will. To me, like, having a Prusa as a primary machine probably makes more sense than a Delta. But I really do like Deltas. I like the way they work. I think they're very, again, just, they're neat. They're very cool. Hey, what's up, modding every day? Feels weird calling you that, because you're not modding every day. You haven't made a video in forever. What's up, Eric? Hey, I ordered my mini yesterday and it's coming tomorrow. What temp do you recommend for PLA? For PLA on this bad boy, I am printing at 60 degrees on the... No, I'm lying. I'm only printing at 45 degrees on the bed and 205 on the extruder, on the hot end. I've gone up to 60 because I was trying to see if I can get layers to adhere a little stronger for something I was working on. There's really no need to go above 45. PLA doesn't even need to use a hot bed, but I always use it. It just makes it so much nicer, and it sticks beautifully and pops right off the second it cools down. So yeah, I'd say 205 for your hot end and 45 for your bed, and you'll be golden. Yeah, no worries, Warren. Warren. It's actually nice that you had me look at that, because I've been looking at it's just been sitting there literally being like a drink stand beside my bed for a little while now. So that's cool that there is actually that add-on for this. Note this only allows a single hot end due to the inductive sensor. The 3D hot end is a massive upgrade. The existing to the before, after. Let's check out this tooth, Marvin. Yeah, it is a pretty good upgrade. Yeah, I really like this. Such a simple little add-on, but being able to have auto bed leveling, because I don't like the G2S Pro has auto bed leveling, but it uses like a a little prong that comes down and it hits a end stop, and that's how it levels itself. I'd much rather have the sensor. I feel like the sensor is better than the physical switch because I think that the physical switch over time would shift a little bit. It could be like a conspiracy on my part, but that's how I feel. Looking to order an i3, do you recommend A6 or A8, and why? So you're talking about the Anet. I don't know. I just ordered the Anet A8, so I'm gonna say Anet A8. This is, I know the Anet A8 I feel like is a lot more popular than the A6. I don't know, it's just because there's a cost difference. I think the 6 cost a little bit more. Yeah, it does cost a little bit more. As far as I know, the only upgrades I truly saw, where I believe it has like auto bed leveling, and does it have like an E3D style hot end? Here's A8. So the A6 is a little larger. So you get 20 mil, 20 mil, 40 mil. Do you know off the top of your head, Shane? Because here's my thing, man. If it's your first 3D printer kit, I don't know if I'd go with the Anet A8 unless you've done your homework and you know that you might have to do a little bit of work to get it going compared to another kit. I'm gonna be doing a complete build from beginning to end of the Anet A8, like step by step. Probably gonna be like 20 parts. It's gonna be a very long playlist on my channel. I'm gonna build it completely stock originally, then I'm gonna upgrade it. Basically gonna add auto bed leveling. I'm gonna get rid of the whole electronics board and switch it over to a ramp style board versus the Anet style board, as well as upgrade the hot end to like a to an E3D V6 Lite. So you'll have that. It's gonna take me a while to make the videos. I mean, it'll probably be 30 days or so before a lot of them are up. But if you are gonna go with the Anet A8s over the if you're gonna go with the Anet A8 or A6, I'd probably just go with the Anet A8. I don't really know. I mean, it says it's got a 20 millimeter by 20 millimeter increase in 40 millimeter height. I don't really see that being a reason to spend more money. That's just such a small difference, really. I mean, it's your call, of course. If you're like, no, I need that height, then by all means go for it. But I'd probably go with the A8. I just feel like more people have it. Again, I'm getting it, so I'll be able to potentially help, or my videos will hopefully be able to help. But yeah, I don't really know why you'd want to get the A6 over the A8. You can add, if bed leveling, okay, you said some do, some don't, depending on the kit. Yeah, because I mean, you can add bed leveling. It's not a problem. I literally just showed that I picked up a, I don't know if I got them off Amazon or eBay because I've had them for a while, but these little, sensors are so cheap. You can just add it on yourself, and the community for the Monoprice Mini is like 4,000 or 5,000 on Facebook. The community for the Anet A8 is like 15, 16K on Facebook. So you've got a stupid amount of people that all have this machine. Again, they're Anet A8s and A6s, but they're upgrading them constantly and stuff like that. So there's definitely going to be printable files to upgrade stuff. So yeah. Is it okay to use blue tape on a heated bed? You can. If you're using blue tape, you probably don't need to heat the bed since it'll stick to the blue tape. I don't like using blue tape. I always have issues with it sticking to the bottom of my prints and either tearing off or leaving some kind of blue hue. You can try it if you want, RM, but honestly, I would just say use hairspray on the aluminum bed and heat it up to 45, and you will be 100% golden. Mr. Mario, who was in here earlier, picked up this printer based off my review, and he asked me the same thing. He's been using hairspray and just straight printing on the aluminum bed at 45 degrees, and he's been having very good success. So Yeah, that's the most hideous part of the hot end. In general, deltas are difficult to level 2. That's the downside of owning a delta. Yeah, they are difficult to level in comparison. I definitely think like deltas would be a pretty ballsy way to go for a first machine. What do you have any other printers, Warren, or is the G2S your, or I don't know if you're the G2S, but is your G-Tech Delta your only machine? Hey, what's up, Kieran? Dude, that's 3 weeks in a row. I'm very impressed with you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Basically, didn't really have much in the agenda today. I decided that I would do a Q&A because I've been having so many people kind of popping in, popping out throughout the stream asking questions, and it's difficult to keep my focus on what I'm doing and answer questions. It kind of makes it really scattered, which is fine, but I decided to dedicate a day to just answering questions. There's been less people asking questions on question and answer day, which is hilarious, but we've gotten a decent amount of people kind of coming in and coming out, so that's really nice. But yeah, I'm gonna hang out for a little bit longer. I kind of basically went over all my plans on projects I'm working on. If you didn't just hear, I picked up another 3D printer, Kieran. I got the Anet A8 coming. Shane says, do you plan on running the stock PSU and or MOSFETs? I've done a lot of research on and off about the Anet A8 and other printers over the past couple of weeks here. I'm pretty much, every night before I go to bed, I usually spend like an hour just kind of like YouTubing and Redditing and Googling and just seeing what's going on and what's new. I have not heard very bad things about the power supply per se. I feel like the Anet A8 and A6 uses the pretty standard China power supply that like almost all kit printers use, and I haven't had any issues with them. So I do plan on running the stock power supply. As far as the MOSFETs, no. I'm going to use the ones that come originally, like the stock ones originally. Yes, I am going to use them, just for the sake of my build guide on the one sec. Locked. Total brain farted. Yeah, okay, so like I said, I'm doing a step-by-step build of the Anet A8, so I'm going to build it stock, so I will use all the default stuff. As soon as I'm done building it stock, I'm customizing it. So I will be showing how to add, let's see if I can find it, one of these guys right here, for those that want this, which is highly recommended, at least to use this for the hotbed. Some people are even using it for the hot end. I don't know that that's necessary, but I definitely recommend using something like this for the hotbed. I'm not going to actually be using the Anet A8 board. So watch Anet A8 main board. So this is basically the Anet A8 main board, right? This thing right here, which is like a combination of kind of like an Arduino ramps board. It looks like it's got stepper drivers built in. I'm not going to use that other than just for the initial build. I'm going to instantly swap it out for the ramps and Arduino. So yeah, I'm going to be swapping it out for the combination of these two separate for multiple reasons. One, I've used these plenty of times and I trust them. On this one, it's really easy. So like how I just showed you guys, hold on. So how I just showed you guys that little, MOSFET board. If you're going to use the ramp setup, you don't really need to use that. You can literally just replace these MOSFETs with higher end MOSFETs, which about, 1 second. I'm trying to find it. About a couple weeks ago, yeah, I went ahead and ordered, I did some research on which ones are recommended for swapping them out, and so I ordered these. So you can literally desolder and resolder these, and these will work a lot better. You can even add a little heat sink, which will make it, a lot cooler. But yeah, I'm not going to use the MOSFETs that it comes with, at least not long term, no. Also, What was I gonna say? Also, yeah, one thing I've heard is that the actual connections, like the plugs from um, the plugs from like the different connectors that actually go into the main board are kind of flimsy, and so a lot of people are recommending either checking them to make sure they don't cross with each other and short something, or burn up. They can even burn up. Some people are recommending to basically cut the cable or cut the plug and just solder it directly onto the board, which is probably what I would recommend doing if you had the knowledge. If you, it's not knowledge, but if you have the skill set to do some basic soldering, I'd probably do that. For the mini, how much sample PLA filament is it? How much should I pick up extra? Oh yeah, Ryan, definitely pick up an extra. The sample is a joke, dude. You can't even print the sample cat file with what they give you, unless you got something different than I know of. But yeah, the one I got off of Monoprice directly, and the one my buddy got off of Amazon directly, both of them come with a joke. It shouldn't even be allowed to say it comes with sample filament, because I mean, you could literally print a dot. Like, you might be able to print a little 20 by 20 hollow calibration cube, but yeah, definitely you're gonna be super sad if you don't order an extra spool. You'll be very bored for 2 days until you get the spool. Own a Craft bot as a primary printer and a Hicktop i3. Delta is more like a learning kit that I got, partially regretting this decision. Hey, you won't know if you don't try it though, right? What's the Craft bot? I've heard of it. Oh man, the sun. Every time I stream, it's sunset time. Oh shit, Craft bot's nice, dude. That's an expensive printer. What do you primarily do with your 3D printers, man? Is it more hobby stuff, or are you prototyping stuff? It's pretty sexy looking. Definitely, it looks nice. I know I've heard of the Hicktop i3. I can't picture. Hicktop i3. Ah, that's where I've seen it. Amazon. Probably on eBay too. Hicktop i3 looks a lot like the NA A8. Like, freakishly like it. It looks a little worse than the NA A8. Well, mostly just because it doesn't have lead screws, I guess, so it doesn't really look worse. Just looks like a standard China kit printer. Have you done much upgrades to it, or are you pretty much running it stock? Like, have you done any at least like frame braces and stuff? I feel like a lot of the stuff for the NA A8 upgrades would be compatible with this, like the Y-axis belt tensioner, some of the frame braces that go on the this acrylic piece right here, as well as some of the I've seen some where they use like spiral rods, or maybe the lead screws at like a triangle or diagonal 45-degree angle to basically add some stiffness to the frame. I decided to pack my DaVinci away and buy a new printer. I was thinking about a kit this time so it's more user-friendly and parts are more replaceable. Nice, Kieran. I think that's probably a smart choice. I mean, yeah, that's probably a smart choice. It's such a frustrating yet rewarding experience. I mean, maybe it's different for everyone, but for me, it's like certain moments you want to cry, certain moments you want to laugh, and then in the end, it's beautiful when it prints and you know that. Granted, you didn't make the machine; someone designed it and put all the building material together and stuff like that. But you put all the time and effort into building it. You know when something goes wrong, how to remove it and replace it. It's very, very nice. It is extremely nice. If you're looking for any suggestions, I don't know what exactly your budget is or your minimum specs you're looking for. But if I did suggest anything, I'm gonna give you three suggestions. Four suggestions. No, you said kit. 3 suggestions. Okay, so this one I've been talking about. This is gonna be the cheapest suggestion. This one will probably give you some issues. I don't want to say issues, but it probably won't be fantastic stock for very long. You'll probably have to do some upgrades to it. But if you're looking for absolute cheapest, this is going to be the cheapest. I'm getting one, and I have no doubt in my mind that I'll be able to get it printing quality of things that will be extremely usable and even like mechanical and even sellable if I wanted to be by the time I'm done with it. If you are looking for another Prusa i3 that you think you want like a little better Prusa i3, I have this one, and this is a absolutely amazing machine I can vouch for. This is the exact one I bought. So you're looking at basically an extra, $120. But some of the major things you get are aluminum frame, which is honestly the best upgrade. So you get an aluminum frame, you get a glass top for the build, you get a Ramps Arduino board instead of the Anet, board, whatever they use, their board. What else? It's just a really, really nice and fantastic kit. And because I'm kind of a little bit of a Folgertech fanboy, this one, if you're just trying to go big for $500, is absolutely insane. I would love to build this. It is, 300 by 300 by 400, so you're getting double the height and 50% more in the length and the width, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's got the 2020 aluminum frame, aluminum cutouts for all the corners. It's a big, beautiful machine. So those are at least my 3 suggestions. You can obviously do with it what you will, but those are ones I would recommend. I picked the A608 because I think stock stability would be better. Order the MOSFET you just showed for hotbeds. Thanks for answering my questions. You've gained a sub. Oh, right on. That sounds good, Shane. You will get at least a little bit better. You will get a little bit bigger build area too, which I guess is always nice, even though it's minimal. And if you're saying you think that the stability of it stock is better, I haven't done enough of a side-by-side comparison to truly be able to give my input on which one's better than the other. I'm just going straight off of cost, and my goal with the N8 is to create the best possible printer that I can for the absolute lowest cost. And at $165, it just doesn't get lower than that, but right on. Let me know. I'm going to be installing that MOSFET myself. For mine, I'll probably just resolder the Ramps board one I showed, the physical little one, but I'm going to be showing the one that I showed you on video because I think there's a lot of people getting Anet printers that are new to 3D printing, and they might not really know how to solder, or might not want to solder to the main board, or again, soldering cables is a lot easier than removing an actual MOSFET and installing a new one. So I'm going to be showing that one for those people that want to do the upgrade, which I highly recommend for the cost of $12 or whatever it ended up being, for the peace of mind that your cable's not gonna sizzle or you'll get magic smoke or burn something out. I do think that a lot of the talk of the Anet A8s or A6s kind of catching fire is a little bit of an exaggeration. I think they're more so saying that they're smoking or burning up, which in all honesty has happened to 2 Ramps boards of mine, and it's never there was never an actual flame, but again, it's the magic smoke that you get from electronics when things are not going good or you're frying something. But again, I do think that for the sake of taking the job of switching the hotbed on and off of the cheap board and onto a little board of its own is a very good idea for the cost. So I got the CraftBot Plus when it launched. It was $1,000 back then. I used to print parts for my college buddies, so almost got back half the investment. Oh, right on, dude. That's cool. Yeah, I actually. It looks very nice. Have you done a lot of? Did you say you done a lot of upgrades to it, or no? I don't. Oh no, I asked you about the Hicktop. But yeah, the CraftBot. Are you pretty much running that stock? True Hicktop was one of the first kits from China that came out really cheap. Then G-Tech first. When G-Tech first started, I did add some Z stabilizers and an inductive sensor. How well does the inductive sensor work for you? Because I've actually never, again, I've never done it. I've watched a lot of videos on it. I've read a lot on it. I bought 2 of them with the intention to use it, but it hasn't happened yet, and it's going to be happening very soon here. Again, on it at the Anet A8 once I get it all set up. But yeah, I haven't actually done it. Odibaka says, driving home, love the cast. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you aren't stuck in traffic or anything like that. I don't know where you're at or where you're commuting to, but I know it is here at least traffic hours. Let's see, now everyone is kind of rebranding that printer into different names and selling it just for cheap. All these Anet, yeah, there's a ton. I feel like the Anet A8 or the Anet series came up like overnight. I know it's not brand new by any means, and I've been seeing them as far back as I want to say mid to fall of last year, but I just feel like the hype train on them is so big. And I made a video talking about China kits not that long ago, and I know that, you know, I'm sure the quality control on these things is pretty low, and they're using very, very low quality components and certain things, but you gotta wonder how low they can make the price before they're not profiting at all. Like, I don't know how much they can really be making on these printers, you know, when they're 160 to 200 bucks. It's just insane. It's madness, actually. It's really crazy. Kieran says, thanks man, the last one fits my budget just perfectly. It looks beefy as fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna be super jealous of you if you end up getting that printer and building it. It has been on my radar for a very long time. I've actually contacted Fulgurtech multiple times trying to get a review. I just emailed them actually like 4 days ago, and I haven't heard back. I would love to get a kit in to review. It would be a lot of fun. I don't really have much reason to need to print things that big. I print mostly small things, and then the thing is too, yeah, like let's say I'm printing something and I could print like 4 of them on one machine. Well, on that machine I could print like 10. I typically wouldn't want to, out of fear that what if one thing causes it to fail halfway through the print, and then instead of losing 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 items, you're losing 10 items. But it would be really cool to be able to print certain things very large. Sorry, I have it on just a blank screen. It would be very cool to be able to print certain things very large. And also, I do think that if you got that printer dialed in correctly with you know, sensor, you could probably print things like almost like a cookie sheet or a cookie tray very easily, and have it printing out multiple things at the same time, and almost have it as like a, you know, small manufacturing printer in your room, which is really cool. Maurice says, I'm scared. Is there really a bigger risk of fire with cheap printers? I want the Monoprice like V2 and it has great ratings on Amazon, but those few that showed pics that the board caught on fire. Okay. Yes, there is a bigger risk of cheaper printers acting up. Again, Maurice, I think that the fires are extremely exaggerated, especially on Reddit. I don't understand. I've seen so many arguments about this, and I don't understand whether it's just fanboys of more expensive printers, or maybe people that are jealous that people are getting printers for $160 when they paid $300 or $400 or $500 on theirs, you know, and the cheaper ones are printing good. I don't know what it really is. I definitely think, okay, so check it out. On a cheap printer, right, what can really catch fire? You've got the power supply, and you've got the main board. Those are really the two things. I don't see stepper motors catching fire. End stops are not catching fire. The hardware is not catching fire. The bed's not catching fire. The frame's not catching fire. It's only those two things. So if you are truly worried about it, you can swap out the power supply as well as the main board. Like if you were just like, oh man, but without having to do that, there are other things you can do to help basically limit the risk of that happening. I just showed like a second ago on stream this right here. So if you were to get this guy right here, and you basically, instead of running your hotbed directly to the, like for example, you're talking about the Monoprice V2, instead of running it directly to the board, you run it to this, like from the board to this, from this to the power supply, and then you connect this also to the board, so that way it triggers it to turn on and off. You've pretty much eliminated most of what the issue is that people are having with any of the cables burning up or anything like that. Most of the time, it's the hotbed, because the hotbed out of everything on the 3D printer draws the most power because of the watts it needs to basically power, to heat it up. Like the extruder is such a small, or the hot end is such a small unit that you're heating up, and it's all metal. Not all of them, but typically they're mostly all metal or metal, and they heat up extremely easily, while the bed is, whatever ceramic or a PCB board, and it takes a lot more, especially since it's so much more surface area to heat up. So typically it's the electricity that's going through this that causes problems, whether it's the plug that's cheap, whether it's the MOSFET that's cheap. So literally just by doing this one upgrade, you're saving yourself most of the risk. I do recommend though, as kind of like a as a precaution, whenever you get a new 3D printer, print with it for at least a little bit of time, like being awake or in the same room. That way you can make sure that 10 minutes into your first print, the thing doesn't start smoking or something goes wrong. It's just always a good idea to monitor it for at least a little while before just letting it go. I definitely would say more so on the kit printers, since you're doing them yourself, but that's probably false, because if you're doing it yourself, you can make sure you're doing it right. Just, it's always a good practice to monitor it at least a little bit before just setting it and forgetting it. So, but yeah, honestly, sorry, I'm getting like really choked up. Yeah, Maurice, the Maker Select V2 is a fantastic printer, and I think they came out with a 2.1 that is supposed to fix a lot of the issues that people were saying was with like the plug or with the hotbed. But I would still get this for peace of mind, especially if you're saying you're scared. So, what do you think about Hatsune Miku? I don't know what that is. Is that a printer? Is a humanoid persona voiced by singing? Huh! An anime character? I have no idea I have no idea who that is. Oh, no way. You really ordered it that quick? Jesus. You didn't even do research on it. You just took my word for it. Yeah, check for the 2.1. I don't know whether it'll say 2.1, or whether it's just like an internal difference that you won't be able to know until you actually get it and crack it open. I'm not really sure, but just do some research. But I've definitely heard that there's a version 2.1, and again, I don't know whether it's advertised as 2.1 or just version 2. But I did see that even people that were ordering it from Amazon over like Christmas time were getting version 2.1. So I think 2.1's been stocked for quite a while now. Yeah, because on Monoprice's website it just says version 2. Let me see on Amazon if it says anything about 2.1. I don't think it does. I'm pretty sure it just says Monoprice Maker Select version 2. 2.1. Yeah, it just says version 2. Because it's not like a true, completely new printer, they're probably not letting it be known per se. And also at the same time, if you think about it, like, if there really is an issue with the printer and it's not just these 4 or 5 people that are saying that they're catching fire or whatever, Monoprice is not going to want to like put it on blast like, hey, we made a version 2.1 because our version 2 is catching fire. You know, like, they're not going to do that. So it's probably more of a discrete update which just fixes a couple of tiny little things. Just do some Googling, man. There's too many 3D printers for me to know all of them off the top of my head. But I from what I saw, I know that there's a version 2.1, which again supposedly fixes it. But still, get that thing I just showed, the MOSFET board. Daniel Kelly says, is the $200 Monoprice Mini good? It is amazing. It is beyond good. If you haven't watched my review on it, please watch it. It's like 3 or 4 videos ago. I'm trying to see if I have anything right here I could show you. Here we go. Okay, so I've done some modifications to it, very minimal. Hold on, let me take this second camera over here so I can show you what I'm talking about. Come on. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Oh, Jesus. So here is the Mini, which, again, this is the first print, which I know you can't see it that well because this camera is not like insane and it's printed in black, but maybe from the glare you can see at least. It's literally perfect, man. This was right out of the box. I plugged it in, I leveled the bed in about 60 seconds, and I hit print. And 3 hours later, this beautiful little Asian cat was born. And since then, all I've done is I added some stabilizers. Basically, watch, if you go into Thingiverse, gotta be up here somewhere. Ah, these guys. Printed out these guys, and I put these in. They basically help where it helps make these Z-rods not wiggle at all, because they don't like literally wiggle, but they're not extremely tight. It doesn't really affect print quality too much, but it does cause the X-axis to make a little bit of sound, like vibration sound, which potentially could affect print quality. And I just didn't care for the sound, so I installed those. Kind of a bitch to install. There's rumor or word that the original mounting holes, or screws or nuts, whatever, is a little bit offset now, and I think I can vouch for that because it was not a smooth fit. I had to actually use like a drill bit to make the hole a little bit wider. But yeah, those, I'm glad I installed those. I really am. And then the second upgrade, oh, I didn't even show. I'm stupid. Everything I just said still applies, but this is what I'm talking about. Sorry, I didn't realize that I didn't show the screen. This is what I'm talking about. And the second upgrade I did was to the extruder. Basically, I replaced the extruder with a clone E3D J-head style V6. So that's in there. So basically, this whole section's been replaced. This is a new extruder down here. This whole mounting bracket's new, and it also added a second fan. Before, it just has one fan that cools both the extruder and the first layer. I added two. Definitely ups the strength and quality a little bit. But these are not really necessary if you just want to print for fun and you don't like have to have everything perfect, quote unquote perfect. You can just buy this and use it. I know three people that are using it stock, and they absolutely love it. So definitely not a requirement or something you have to do by any means at all. I couldn't help it. It looks yeah, no, I get you, Karen. If I had like an extra 500 to just spend, I totally would right now. I bought this I bought a camera for YouTube like 7 or 8 months ago, and I'm still trying to pay it off. And my printer, I mean not my printer, my whole computer crapped out on me a little bit before Christmas, so that was like another $700-800. So I've probably got a couple more months before I'm even, which really is a shitty feeling. But yeah, I just can't justify it right now. But I'll live my excitement through you. So if you could make some videos on it, I would be very excited. Oh, my nose. I've seen a couple ways people hook up MOSFETs. Some go direct from PSU, which I plan to do, and only use signal from mainboard. Others use PSU and main. I was planning on just using PSU and signal. So yeah, PSU and signal is, well, I hadn't really seen I'm sorry, I'm like totally getting sidestepped here. The other way of when they use the main. But yeah, I was planning on using from, PSU to the MOSFET to the hotbed, and then just the signal to the actual main board. That way it triggers it on and off. So I'll be doing the same thing. No, I did not just print that ARM7. I printed that when I first got the printer, so 2-3 weeks ago. And Daniel, I printed this on the Mini, and they print absolutely amazingly, dude. So you'll be good. You should be able to print one. It is. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, the spinners. Oh, okay, you're talking to him. Sorry. Yeah, you totally can. Yeah. 110%. You can print spinners. Oh, Dan got the printer. Nice, dude. Are you running it? You're running it stock so far, right? What have you printed so far? And when did you get it? Like, we're talking just today, or we're talking a couple days ago or a week ago? Oh, couldn't have, probably a couple days ago. I recently printed one that I made on a $5,000 printer, and it came out great. I'll print the same on my Select Mini when I have it this weekend. I'll let you know when it comes out. I'll let you know. Oh, cool. That sounds good. What $5,000 printer did you use? The Ultimaker? Maybe this is why I don't have good luck with printers. Wait, what do you mean? I don't, Daniel. I usually do release most of my files, but I sell these. So that's the only reason why I don't have the files for these. There's a ton though on Thingiverse, dude. If you go Thingiverse, there's a ton of really good ones. Just type in fidget spinner. I mean, you've got a stupid amount, dude. You got Batman, you got try that. Oh, Punisher. There's a gajillion, dude. Your heart's desire, like anything you could ever think of, it's gonna be here. Pages and pages and pages and pages. So yeah, I just try to design my own stuff. Like if I'm selling things, not always. I do sell certain things that I wasn't the original creator for if I've got permission. But I typically try to create my own things. But if I do sell them, I typically don't post them on Thingiverse. But anything that I create that's like useful or it's like a printer upgrade, I'll always release it. Or if it's just like a fun project. Man, my eyes are bugging out right now. Yeah, no worries, Daniel. Yeah, I'm glad to help, man. You're more than welcome to. Your best time to catch me for questions is probably going to be live streams, 110%. I am definitely not the best at replying to YouTube comments. I do my best, especially on, like, if it's a new video I just uploaded and someone's commented on it. I'll try my best. But, like, for example, our Chinese 3D printers even worth it? There's so many, like, paragraph comments, and I'm stoked on them. I've read every single one. I just cannot respond to them all. I don't have enough time or patience, in all honesty. So the best time to catch me for questions is 100% live streaming. especially when I'm doing a live stream like this, when it's a Q&A live stream. Sometimes I'm working, like the last 2 weeks I've been kind of working on projects while live streaming, and it's a little harder for me to answer questions when I'm trying to work on other stuff. Hey, could you guys do me a favor? I always kind of ask. I'm gonna probably get some kind of like an animation, but if you have been enjoying the live stream, could you just smack the thumbs up button for me? It really helps out the stream, and yeah, I really appreciate it. Sorry, it's actually $3,200, but it's the Axio Me. I have not heard of it. Let's peep it. I don't see it. Oh, I lied. Let me see. 3D printer. Where'd you? Ooh. Oh, it's Airwolf? Oh, okay. It's funny. I actually applied to Airwolf for a job. They're located probably 30 minutes from where I live, I think. I will say, like, I've never used an Airwolf 3D printer, and I've heard very mixed things. I've heard very negative things from some, and also very good things from some. Like, all 3D printer reviews are so bullshit. Like, for the most part, you can't judge them. Like, the A8 gets really negative reviews, although it can be a really promising printer. And then some of the good reviews are like complete fanboys or paid. Like, I don't know. Reviews are so like biased for the most part, but all that aside, I will say though, Airwolf makes some very pretty 3D printers. They're definitely good looking aesthetically. Thank you guys all for thumbs ups. I'm actually trying to, I don't know motion graphics at all, but I'm trying to learn motion graphics just a little bit, so that way I can create some like little things that I put in my videos and stuff like that. So I'm working on it. But I'm expecting this one to be great. Yeah, Karen, this one, also, dude, hold on, left screen. Okay, go on to Facebook and go to Folgertech. Maybe it's called Folgertech Printers. The hell? Hold on. There's totally a group. There we go. Wait, no, that's not it at all. Hold on, family. I know I'm part of the group. Manage groups. Groups. Yeah, there you go. Okay, Folgertech 3D printers. It's got 3.9 thousand members, and a lot of these people have that machine. Like, I mean, if you look, this guy's printing in it. There's one of them completed right here. So these people can greatly help you. And this guy looks like, I've got my Tastix, which is going to print one piece dome. I'm not really sure what he's, I don't know what's going on in that picture, but all I know is that a lot of these people can, you know, greatly, that's funny. A lot of these people are going to be able to help you if you have any questions. I'm sure that out of the 2,000 something members in here, at least 1,000 of them have your machine. Wow. This is bitchin' looking, man. I've tried printing a 360 or Xbox One controller before. That looks amazing. That's so cool. Anyways, freaking zoning out over here. Ordered an A8 from GearBest days ago and just got a message saying I need to pay $19 more for DHL shipping. Is this a scam? I have actually, I think, worked with GearBest. I don't really recall, but I think that they sent me a gaming mouse a long time ago to review, and they are legit. Like, the website's not a scam. People do buy from GearBest. You can see if you look around, there's a lot of people that have purchased from GearBest. But they are located in China, so that's one thing that you got to take into consideration, which is why I purchased mine off of eBay. I feel a little bit more comfortable, but there's a chance that for DHL, maybe it's a customs thing or like an import thing. maybe they didn't pay enough for shipping, and so it's being held up at customs. I don't really know. They're not a scam though, if that's what you're asking. I don't know what the $19 is about, but they're not like a Walmart. You know, they're not, their customer service is not nearly as good. I've heard that they've been behind for like weeks on orders and stuff like that. My freaking eyes. Do you have much experience with different firmwares, Skynet, Marlin? I don't. The only firmwares I've used are like XYZ. I think it's like XYZware or whatever. The one that comes on their stock board. I used Repetier host or Repetier firmware for a bit because you were able to flash that to the DaVinci board. And then other than that, I've pretty much exclusively been using Marlin. So Skynet I just barely heard of through the NetA8 because I know you can flash it to its board. Maybe I'll make a video on that, but again, in the end I'll be using Marlin once I God, I keep brain farting. Marlin's what I'll end up using, I'm sorry, once I convert the board over to a Ramps board and Arduino. If there was one thing I could upgrade on the Monoprice, what would it be, and would it be necessary? Nothing. Nothing's necessary at all, dude. If you're just planning on, like, you said are you 13? Is that what you said? Where are you at, Daniel? I'm looking for you. When did you come in here? Hold on, Daniel. Where you at? Where you at? You're only 13, dude. Nah, dude. Okay. Not that that matters. I think that that's totally bitchin' that you are, you know, that age and you're getting into 3D printing. It's absolutely insane. It's way ahead of my, you know, curve or my knowledge with it. I didn't start any of this stuff until a few years ago. But no, nothing is really necessary, man. You'll be able to print if you're just like starting off with your spinner things. They'll print. Come on, Daniel. They'll print beautifully, and yeah, you won't have any issues, man. I've heard over time that the aluminum bed will kind of bow a little bit, so you might need to get eventually like a glass or BuildTech replacement, but that's down the line, dude. Don't worry about that now. I'm using the aluminum, and it's been beautiful. Extruder, you don't need to upgrade. You don't need very much strength for most of the things. It's just because I'm doing something specific that I needed a little additional strength. And the Z braces, dude, honestly, they're not necessary. Again, I know 3 or 4 people personally. One of them who's been running these machines for probably 4, 5, 6 months, and running them completely stock, and they're printing everything he's throwing at it perfectly fine. So you'll be good, man. Yeah, no worries, Karen. It's definitely where I would at least be peeping, as well as Thingiverse for upgrades. But first, I guess before upgrades, unless there's something substantial that you like have to do before building it, I would just build the thing the way it's intended to be built, and then think about upgrades. Just get it working, you know, like stock. And then if you decide, hey, I need leveling and doesn't have that, or I want to upgrade the extruder, then it probably won't be very difficult to do. Yeah, I would definitely join the Facebook group, man. Facebook groups are very nice. I have been a much bigger fan of these Facebook groups than Reddit. Not to bag on Reddit, I'm on Reddit all the time, but the people there, for the most part, are a lot less, not forgiving, but like understanding or kind, if you will. They're just kind of more blunt, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it can be a definite turnoff for someone who's new to it all. So, and they hate the NetA8, so stay away. Could you do a really fast tutorial on how to get supports on the Select Mini software? I don't know what the Select Mini software is. I use Repetier, so I can show you that real quick. I don't really use supports ever. Here's a little fidget spinner I printed. Let's see if we can find something that needs supports though. We'll go Thingiverse here. Let's type in like we'll just do a Pokemon. Pokemons. None of these really. That probably, yeah, that needs supports for sure. Okay. Let's download all files. Get a Pokemons. Extract to desktop. Okay. Yes to all. Repetier. Okay. So we are going to import it. Holy shit. Eevee. Okay. Well, wow, they didn't scale it correctly at all. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, this is Repetier host. This is what I use. I've always used this since the beginning. I've used Kira a little bit, but Repetier was my first choice. Or the first one I learned on, and it does everything I needed to, so I've stuck with it. I know a lot of people like Simplify 3D, but it costs, I think, $100, maybe $150, so I haven't touched it. Should probably reach out to them for a sponsor or something like that, but I don't know, man. This is a free software. It works fine. So anyways, basically you place the object, you can rotate it. So I rotate it 90 degrees, so that way you can see now Eevee's actually standing, Jesus, the correct way. This is the size of the Monoprice bed. I basically made it 4.7 by 4.7 by 4.7. You have to tell the software, obviously, how big it is. And then we'll scale it because it's freaking small. 6 is too small. We'll do like, no, still too small. 12? Yes, 12 is okay. We'll do it bigger just for the sake of you looking at it right now. Okay, we'll do a full 17. So it's a good size Eevee. So obviously, you're not going to be able to print this. I mean, the way printers work is obviously layer by layer. It has to build its way up. This whole area right here is, you know, essentially floating in the air. And so if it were to print it like this, once it were to get to like this section or this section, the plastic's just going to droop down to the ground. So you use supports. So if you go under slicer, I use Kira engine as my slicer. Go to configuration. Again, I don't use supports too often. I typically don't print things that need supports, or I design things in a way where they don't need supports because I don't like supports. But if you do need to use them, it depends on how you want to really use them. You've got two options, grid or lines. For the sake of this tutorial, we'll use, I think lines are probably easier to remove, so we'll use lines. You choose the angle, so basically how extreme of an angle it needs to be for it to use supports. We'll leave it stock at 60 degrees, that's fine. The fill amount is basically how solid you want the supports to be. The more solid it is, typically the harder it is for it to remove, and you're wasting plastic. So I guess we can use 15%, that's what it's saying. Distance is basically the distance from, like, okay, so you have X and Y and Z. So basically the distance is saying if it's going to need to put support material right here for the tail, how far away do you want it from this piece, and how far away do you want it from this piece? So that way when you try to remove it, it's not melted together with your actual print, because that sucks. I mean, normally it does grip a little bit, but you don't want it to completely weld with the print, because then your print will probably be damaged. You won't be able to remove the supports. So it's kind of a learning, not a learning curve. It's kind of like, I don't think that there's like truly a correct formula. It depends on what you're printing and whatnot. You're probably okay to use this. It's saying, I mean, it gives you suggestions. It's saying that 0.8 is a recommended distance, so you can do 0.8. If you want to make it even a little easier, you can do 0.9 if you want. And then for the Z, it says a small gap makes it easier to remove the supports. So 0.15 is what I had by default. If you want to add a little more, you can do, you know, 0.2, I guess. That'll work. So then save your settings, go back over here to your object placement, and slicer. Under slicer, you have to say, hey, supports, we need supports. Do you want supports everywhere or just where it's touching the bed? We're just going to do touching bed. And then obviously speed, I don't go above 50 on the Monoprice Mini. It'll skip steps. So right now we're running basically 45 print speed. 41 for the outer perimeter and 50 for the infill. You can customize those all you want. Infill 20%. I pretty much use that as a standard for most things because it's pretty damn solid, but you're not wasting too much filament. Slice it. And as you can see, you basically got these objects now underneath your print, which will print so that way like the chin, you know, can rest on it. And again, I did lines, so they're basically just thin lines. You might want to do grid actually. Let's try grid, just so you can see the difference too. Slice it again so that way we can see the difference with the grid. Okay, so now we've got the grid, which is a lot more solid. I will say when you're using a grid over lines though, you kind of might want to do a little bit more space, because the grid is more solid than the lines. There's a higher chance of it, you know, kind of merging with that. But yeah, I guess that's kind of a crash course. And you can also choose again the infill. It's at 15%, so as you can see on the bottom, you know, it's not very solid. But yeah, the reason why you want the distance is like this infill right here under the belly could easily get stuck to like the legs or the top of the belly. So you just kind of got to work with it. Each printer is probably going to be a little bit different, and also depending on your nozzle size as well as your layer height. I don't know, a lot of it's not really a science to me. It's more of like trial and error. Once it works for you, and stick with it. So little crash course. Okay, well, we did some programming in school for 3D printing in 7th grade, and it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. What should I put on the bed to protect it? You don't gotta put anything on the bed. Excuse me. I just do hairspray, man. I do a little bit of. It doesn't really matter, in all honesty, what hairspray they. There's one that people. Man, my hair is looking crazy with the other video. There's one people use a lot. I can't think of what it's called right now, but I stole this like 8 months ago from my mom, and it's like unscented, super hold. It works beautifully. This is all I use, directly on the aluminum, directly on the glass, directly on whatever really, and it's fantastic. So, dude, I'm only 43. Well, I'm neither 14 nor 43. I got my first 3D printer when I was 12. That's crazy. Man, if you build the Folgertech FT5 at 14, Karen, it's freaking impressive, dude. Very impressive. I ordered my first printer 2 days ago. Wait, Shane, didn't you go with, you said the 6? Yeah, you went with the A6. Well, any last questions, guys? I think I'm going to end the stream here. My throat is starting to get a little upset. I got Subway in the fridge, and I'm going to crack open a soda and hang tight for a little bit. Then I'm going to got quite a few videos I need to make for YouTube, so I should probably stop exaggerating and get started on that pretty soon here. But it's been fun hanging out. Thank you guys all for, a lot of you guys hung out for quite a while. I know Shane, you've been hanging out for a while. Alan popped in. Karen stopping by 3 weeks in a row. Thank you. Daniel swinging in. RM7 coming back. But yeah, if you guys got any last minute quick question like that, I mean, again, if not, it's not like this is my last live stream. It's starting to become a weekly thing, and it's gonna stay that way. So, and you're more than welcome to obviously comment on my YouTube videos, just the standard ones, and I do my best to respond. But the cool thing is too, on a lot of the YouTube videos, that if they're videos that do semi-decent, typically someone else will respond too, which is nice. It's really nice to see the community like helping each other out with stuff. Yeah, no worries, Bernard. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. You guys are the reason why I'm here. I'm not sitting in front of the stream for myself, so it's very nice to be able to help out, answer questions, and just talk 3D printers and share ideas and thoughts and stuff. All that stuff's fun too. What program comes with the Mini? Is it Cura? I think it's Cura, yeah. You can use Cura if you want, man. There's a lot of guides online, and they're all sort of similar-ish. I mean, you're all working with layers and infill and, you know, similar words. So you can totally try that if you want. But if not, just download Arpeggio Host online. It's free. I'll let you know the build's going when it comes. Yeah, sounds good, man. I'll be drilling over here, so I'll be very excited to hear as you progress through it all. Thanks for everything. Can't eat until next live. Oh, can't wait until next live stream. I'll have a lot more questions. Okay, sounds good, Daniel. I was like, you can't eat. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Maurice, nope, thanks, man. Okay, right on. Let me know if you have any more questions about the V2 or V2.1 if you end up getting it. I was actually I wanted another printer that was 200 by 200 by 200, and that was definitely on the agenda. The only reason why I didn't go with that one, well, the reason why I went with the Anet A8 was because, one, it's so cheap, and two, I have parts for it. But the maker, after my experience with this Monoprice printer, I'm a very big advocate of Monoprice 3D printers. For one, their value, and two, their quality. Pretty unbeatable. Also, they're located in the United States, and they come with a warranty. All things that, you know, you really got to take into consideration when purchasing a 3D printer. Shane says thanks for the stream. Oh yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll also be looking forward to hearing how your A6 turns out. Hopefully smoothly, and hopefully you get it soon too. I can't remember if you said you ordered yours off of GearBest or whether you went a different route. Glad I found your channel. Well, I'm glad you found my channel too, Maurice. It's definitely nice because, again, 3D printers is something that it kind of transitioned into over the last couple of years. Although my channel is not exclusively 3D printers, it's kind of like small electronic projects, video game related stuff, but definitely more aimed at 3D printing just because that's definitely my hobby, and with 3D printing I can kind of do a lot of different things with it, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I'll either have a video up tonight or tomorrow, definitely, and then stay tuned for more stuff, guys. I got too many projects and not enough time, so there's a lot of stuff coming up. But yeah, on that note, I'll see you guys later, and thanks for hanging out once again. Peace.